Hey, hey, it's Coach Nicholas Marquis, and I am here with the beautiful Cher Therese. Cher, how you doing?
I'm good. It's a great Friday. I'm excited about it.
It's a great Friday indeed. Thank you for getting on here and kind of talking about your story and your journey of not only working with us, but how
Mhm.
you are just killing it out here in these author streets, in these
Try.
travel streets. Would love for you to just introduce yourself to the people and tell them what it is that you do.
6 months ago, I would have said, "Hey, I'm Cher Therese. I'm an author. I write Wanderlust romance," and I would have left it at that. I would have probably tried to describe what Wanderlust romance is, Black romance about women who travel around the world and, the men who chase them. But since we started working together, that's kind of changed a little bit and it's still changing. So I'm Cher Therese. I'm an author. I write Wanderlust romance, and this story is about perfectly imperfect women and the men who chase them around the world. And I also am now a major part of the travel community, the luxury travel community, and we're building a brand to just get women, perfectly imperfect women, booked. And that's luxury without breaking their backs or their bank accounts. So
Let's go. Let's go. So the brand has expanded.
it's expanded. Yes.
I love that. So before we dive into like where you are now and the amazing thing you're doing with women now, talk to us a little bit about before we started working together, what was going on in the business
Oh,
and
yeah.
what made you say, you know what, I want to work with Nick and his team.
For sure. So I again started out my business in many ways, first and foremost as an author. Also had the idea that I wanted to do more than just be an author and sell books. I realized at some point that there's marketing that has to happen. There is also to get my brand name out there in this reader community. There's a renaissance happening with Black romance where we're picking up more readers and more bookstores are even coming online, either online or small niche little bookstores are popping up everywhere. And I realized that I needed a way to get my name in front of readers, my books in front of readers. But even bigger than that, I wanted people to get on the bandwagon, just like I drank the Kool-Aid and got on the bandwagon of traveling this world. So I travel so that I can write, and I write about those travels. And so I knew it was a thing. How was I going to get people to really see the vision of what that was? So I knew I needed help. So here we are.
Here we are. And I remember when we first started talking with you, you did have that. You're like, oh, this needs to be more than just books, but what?
Yeah, yeah.
And we had your VIP day. We kicked off and talk to me about what happened and where did we pivot to?
So a couple of things happened even before the VIP day. I think the first time I got on the phone with you, you kind of listened to what I was thinking I needed. And let me be real clear. I didn't know if I needed a marketing firm or a PR firm. And
Mhm.
so you kind of heard me and quickly jumped in and said, "How about this? What about podcast spots? What about your own podcast? What about a travel platform? What about this?" And I was like, "You are articulating everything I've been struggling to articulate, not because it wasn't there or I didn't think it was possible. I just didn't think I could do it as a one-man show
Yeah.
or one-woman show for that matter." So yeah, you kind of helped me realize that with the right team, anything is possible. All the dreams, all the strategy, all the things you want to do can be achieved if you have the right team.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that most authors, well, I'll say authors or creatives, I think
Hmm.
get wrong is they think that the ceiling is their immediate creativity, which is
Hmm.
book or their social media platform, but it's really about that back end offer. Tell them what that back end
Yeah.
offer is doing for the Share to Raise brand.
So right now, we kind of I want to say lured people in, but that's not really it is. We kind of created this hook where my books have are the offer, the front end. Hey, I'm an author. Check this book out. As a matter of fact, one of the first creative things we did together was come up with a creative dramatic narration of the first chapter of the first or the book that I was about to release. And what that actually did was got people to buy in. And then on the back end, they became a part of my contact list, if you will. So I went from an 800 member email list to now I have over 3,000 people on the list. And of those
Yes.
3,000 people on the list, we built even more back end offers. We're bringing people through this free online webinar, and people are excited about this free information about how a wanderlust author like me travels the world in luxury to write her books, sometimes for less than $500 for luxury full scale vacations. So that's kind of been the hook. They come in and then we have a full suite travel platform that they can book travel wholesale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all listen, Cher's webinar, there are people that come on the webinar like every week. And we're like, y'all do realize it's the same information, right? And they come faithfully. They come faithfully.
Yeah.
And I think that's just your charisma and your style. Um, so I know that so if we back up, we
Mhm.
we came in right in the at the cusp of the launch of your book, Tempest in
Yeah,
Tulum.
that's correct.
And then we kind of transitioned into this whole travel world, and all we did was just continue to serve your
Hmm.
audience and their interests. Talk to us. The people like to hear about revenue. Talk to us about
Yeah.
what you were doing in revenue before,
Hmm.
and then when you started working as that revenue journey.
So real moment of honesty, the whole term of broke artist is a real thing. It's very hard sometimes, especially if you have a niche area that you work in, write in, paint in, whatever your artistry is. Sometimes it's hard to get people to bite, right? But you do it because you're passionate about it. And I write books because I'm passionate about not only books or novels, I'm passionate about Black love, but realistic, stories rooted in real reality, right? And so I knew that that was going to be a slow growth. As a matter of fact, I had heard the numbers when I wrote my first book. You don't write a first book to get rich. You write a first book to introduce people to your writing style. You don't make any money. That's what I always heard. Even sometimes your second or third book, you don't make any money until you have a backlist of books that people can trust and know. Okay, I read the first one, it was okay. The second one was good. It's not a fluke. By the time you get to the third one, that's when they'll spend their money, right? So revenue wise, I wrote my first book, published in 2021. So between 2021 and mid 2024, I probably had made $8,000 total in revenue for all books.
Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4 years
Four
total.
years, almost for
Right.
3 years, more like 3 years total. I made a total of $8,000 in revenue.
Mhm.
Well, 2025 first quarter, we have 4X our quarterly. No, 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 no. In one quarter, I have made more than I have made in the last 3 years on my books.
Oh,
So
let's go.
hopefully that describes it.
Yeah.
I think it's 4X. Might be wrong on the number of times it's grown, but yeah.
So you've generated about, would you say you've hit the 10K mark in the
Yes.
business in the last 3 months?
In the last 3 months. Yeah.
And then recurring revenue, or all, most of that is recurring revenue month over month, right?
Pretty much 90% of that 10,000 we've generated in revenue this 3 months is recurring. So every month is recurring.
Yes. So it's
Yep.
only up from here.
It's only up from here.
I love that. What would you say has been the biggest aha or the your big win since working with us?
Webinars actually work. Having a training or a not necessarily a consulting offer, but having a course that people truly want information and that you actually give value actually works to generate revenue.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was such an audience out there who just wanted to learn how to travel luxury for less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we told you about that strategy, you were like,
Webinar.
I don't know. I don't like webinars.
I
But
don't think I've ever bought anything from a webinar. Lies, because I have. I just
right.
didn't put two and two together. Like, I didn't think this was the type of offer that would generate. I just didn't think it was. Like, how? And I think that's the value of working with Coach Nick. The how. How is this going to generate revenue? Yeah, people want to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to tell them how to do it. But how is me telling somebody how to do it going to generate revenue?
Yeah.
I'm a believer. You
Well, come
taught me.
she sipped on the Kool-Aid, y'all. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, Cher, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I'm glad that you've been getting some amazing results. And I know we've just started, so this is just the beginning, and it's up from here. Any
Yeah.
final thoughts to just the people that are watching and
Yeah.
that person who's like right on the edge of like, I want to work with Coach Nick. I need coaching and consulting, but I don't know
Yeah.
if this is the right move. What would you say to them?
I think having an open mind to what the possibilities really are, trusting your gut. First things first, I'm gonna say this, Nick, this is not against you or any coaching, but I think a lot of us need to have a belief, a real belief that there is value in what we're providing, whether it is a service, a product, a book. There's real value in what you provide. And sometimes, as the artist, the business owner, the founder, it's very hard for us to see beyond the immediate work that needs to get done. So if there's anybody out there who has an idea or has this gut feeling that there's more than just what we're currently doing or what you're currently doing in your business,
Yeah.
that's your sign that you need a coach, that you need some help with a strategy, but not just a strategy, an execution plan as well. So
Absolutely.
that's the sign.
So good. So good. Would you recommend they work with Coach Nick?
I would absolutely recommend Coach Nick's team. Get real close with Nick and you know what, let the strategy flourish. Don't be against everything or anything that's said until you actually, think it through and say, okay, I can see where this is gonna go, you
Yeah,
know. So yeah,
absolutely. Cher Therese, thank you so much. Always a
thank
pleasure.
you. Same, 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 same.